Hello everybody, how are you doing? My name is Ayla Grace and welcome to my vlog. I want to talk about what's going on in my life. I want to talk about why I've changed platforms. I want to talk about things that have been coming up in my world and how I deal with them and how hopefully you can grow through it. So let's talk about what's going on, or a little bit about who I am. For those of you that don't know me, I am obviously from the Northeast. I'm from a tiny little beach town in New Jersey called Long Beach Island. I was always very different than everybody else. I always, as my parents would say, have a beat to my own drum. And so my parents would always say it's the world according to Ayla Grace, which is why my email list is the weekly email is the world according to Ayla. And I love it so much. And I remember I used to hate it so much because I was never accepted. I was always the odd one out. I was always made fun of. I was always the super sensitive girl who would cry in the bathroom. That used to be me. I don't know how many of you can relate, but if you do, go ahead and drop, yep, that's me, in the comments. And it's a beautiful thing and a beautiful process, and also can be very traumatizing. That being said, I have had a lot of things come up with clients recently in regards to just wanting to be loved and just wanting to be accepted and just wanting that outside validation. And the reality of it is the only validation that means fuck all is 100% hands down how you feel about yourself, how you love yourself, how you show up for yourself. How do you expect the world to give a damn about you if you don't even give a damn about yourself? We so often seek outside help, outside support, outside love for fulfillment on the inside. And it doesn't do us any good. It doesn't make us feel any better. It doesn't do anything except make us feel worse. By looking for outside validation, and I'm guilty of it, I am a human being. We are, as humans, that is what we do. That is how society has ever so geniusly pre-programmed us. That is how social media has told us how to feel. And that's why we have all of these things and all of these divides and all this crazy stuff going on in the world, is because we are seeking outside validation. When our ego gets hurt, we go to that space of F you, why me, how dare you, I'm special, I'm important. And the reality of it is if you don't even view yourself as special or important to yourself, you're going to have a lot of problems. You're going to feel incomplete when the love of the relationship starts to flicker or fade. You're going to have problems having the communication when the relationship hits a sinkhole or the deep end, if you will. And that is when you get to sink or swim. I innately just put myself in those positions all the time. I was a ballerina, I did gymnastics, I did cheerleading, I did musical theater, I worked in a tattoo shop. I also toured with bands for 10 years and also was a stripper. And I also experienced tons of sexual harassment, sexual assault, and rape. And it was all because I was looking for things outside of me. Am I a victim to circumstances? Yes, absolutely. Am I a victim now? No. And the only reason I don't feel like I'm a victim is because I have the ability to stand up for myself, put my middle fingers up in the air and say, F all of you, I'm gonna do me. Just like a year ago, 12 months ago, I decided to pack a bag and go to Bali because I was meditating and heard so clearly, buy a plane ticket to Bali. And so many people so often don't listen to that little voice inside of them. And so when I heard it, I sat with it for a week, 5 days actually, let's be real. not 7, 5 days. And it brought me such immense joy. And so I bought a round trip ticket, but part of me knew deep down, just like, Ayla, you're not going to leave. And that terrified me because it was like, oh, well, what happens? What happens if I decide to stay? And it reminded me of this thing that my parents used to always say to me, which came up later in mindset work that I did a couple months ago. And it was my parents would always say to me, Ayla, we never worry about you. We know you're going to be fine. We know you can always land on your feet and be okay. And so part of me, I think, wanted to always prove my parents wrong. Wanted to always be like, you know what, you don't have to worry about me, like F you, I want you to worry about me. And so I always put myself in very interesting situations, to say the least. Unbeknownst to me until recently, and uncovering that in mindset work. And so when we really give ourselves the ability to get honest, let it all out, get super sensitive, be the girl who cries in the bathroom because she's getting made fun of, or she doesn't feel good enough, or she doesn't feel worthy enough. Allowing yourself to really be like, oh, shit. Okay, got it. I got it now. It's not always going to be perfect. It's going to be messy. It's going to be painful. It's going to be like, this again, really? We're always ready to have the deeper experience when we grow through the deeper experience. But are you growing through the deeper experience? Are you allowing yourself to have that deeper experience, or are you avoiding it at all cost? Because there's something going on right now in the spiritual community. I call it spiritual bypassing. It's what it is. And it's basically doing everything to stay in the positive and not really address the shadow side or the fear or the negative feelings. When you address those negative feelings, your whole world opens up. You get to shift, you get to change, you get to embrace so much within you. If you're willing, you know. But you don't have to bypass those shitty feelings, because guess what? They're just going to come back. That same situation is just going to repeat itself because you haven't learned the lesson yet. You haven't felt through that experience. And so for me, with knowing all of this past week, I was blocked from Facebook again for 24 hours because I posted a pro-masturbation video. And it said, go fuck yourself. And it talked about masturbation and how masturbation can be a stress reliever when stress is a very big libido killer. Amongst nutrition and medicine and anything else. Stress is a big cause of why couples don't have sex. Because they're stressed out. And let's face it, the vast majority of divorces happen because of money. Stress over money. Imagine that. Right? So let's think about it. If masturbation actually reduces stress and allows you to relax, then you and your partner could have more sex if you're not having sex and you want to be having sex. So it got me thinking, if Facebook is going to censor this, where can I go? And I had been putting off going to YouTube for some time until now. And it's not that I didn't want to build a YouTube channel before. My biggest fear was the bullies, the trolls, all of the people spouting hate, and a lot of people who work within the sex education world do face a lot of really interesting obstacles and a lot of really interesting moments and experiences. And I really do genuinely believe it's simply because they are taking a stand for what they believe in. And anybody who takes a stand for what they believe in is going to be faced, let's face it, with some trolls, some hate, some people who can't see eye to eye. And it really allows me to think about the idea of, well, what if we loved with as much conviction as we do hate? Hate is such a low vibrating energy that it just drags you down. It sucks you in, and it's like, well, Love is the complete opposite end of the emotional, energetic experience. So if we got to experience that, we got to experience genuine, wholehearted love, and we loved with such conviction, and we loved unconditionally, and we just allowed ourselves to be passionate about everything in life, we would have so many more happy people. And it very well could be the cure to end war, violence, hate, death. We could change the world. And this is not new information, but it really had me think about, well, let's be honest, if I really can't use Facebook anymore as a platform, my personal page, because it's going to get reported and then I'll eventually get kicked off Facebook, and I don't want that. I will switch to just my women's group, just the Facebook business page, just my website, Instagram, and YouTube, because the vast majority of my content is videos. And so with all of this going on, I'm supposed to be going back to America in 2 weeks to go to Los Angeles, and I'm completely okay with it. A little stressed out, a little freaked out, a little in my fear. And I'm in fear because I have had to live off of a very small amount of money. About $1,000 a month is all you need to survive in a place like a tiny village in Morocco or a tiny village north of Ubud in Bali in Indonesia. You don't need a lot of money to live comfortably in other countries other than America that are beautiful, that are tropic, that are simple. If you work remotely, it's very easy to make that amount of money. So what I would love to know with all of you is I'm going to be doing YouTube videos 3 times a week. I know it's a little crazy, but I'm doing them 3 times a week for the next month or so, just to really build up content and get people showing up here to my YouTube channel. The vlogs are going to be titled Grit to Gold. They are going to be specifically for people on my email list. Nobody else can see them. You will get a private link in the email list. That being said, those will be getting posted on Mondays. The other 2, one's going to get posted on Tuesdays and the other's going to get posted on Fridays. Fridays is going to be Ask Ayla Grace, as it has always been Thursday or Fridays in my women's groups. And if you have a question, whether it's sex related, relationship related, life related, go ahead. You can email me and I'll put it in the description. I am aylagrace@gmail.com. So IAMAYLAGRACE@gmail.com. Super easy, super simple. And what I will do is I will just anonymously post your question and we will do a talk on it. I'll do a video on it. And I'll do 1 question a week. If it's short, I'll do 2 that week. And on Tuesdays, it's just going to be tips and tricks. It's going to be for whatever it is I feel like really talking about that isn't directly related to my personal life, but maybe a lesson that came up that people can learn from, because it's important, whether it's sex education or relationship or life. I have had so many different experiences in my very short life, and I intend to have so many more, and I can't wait for this channel to grow, and I can't wait for you guys to watch this happen. And if you want to work with me, all you have to do is email me. All you have to do is go to the description and go to my website. Or you can use that email where you submit your anonymous questions. And you can just let me know you want to work with me, and we can set up a call, and I'm more than happy to talk to you and see how I can help you and see if it's a great use of your time and money as well as a great use of my time. Because I am a huge, huge believer in, if it's not going to work and you're not willing to do the work, then I don't want to waste your time and money, and I don't want to waste my time. And I say that because sometimes we think we're ready and we're really not. So I hope that you're able to look at your fears. I hope you're able to love your life as wildly as I do. And I can't wait to do this again next week. All right, have a beautiful day.